Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to build a simple but really useful project. As you can see on the screen, the idea is pretty straightforward. You paste in a long link, the app gives you back a short one, and when someone clicks that short link, they're redirected to the original URL. I'm going to show step by step how the project is built. Alright, let's start by setting up the backend with Supabase. First, head over to supabase.com and log in. Once you're in, click on New Project. Give your project a name, set a password, and since this is just a demo, the region doesn't really matter. Go ahead and click Create Project. Now, once the project is created, we need a database table. Let's create a table called URLs. This table will have 4 columns: an ID column, which is the primary key and auto-incremented, a shortcode column to store the generated short link, a long URL column to store the original link, and a created at column with a default value of now. After creating the table, there's one important setting we need to change. By default, Supabase enables something called row-level security. This feature is great for production apps because it lets you define access rules for different users. But since this is just a simple demo, we don't want to deal with writing policies. So let's go ahead and disable row-level security on the URLs table. That way, our Python code can insert and fetch data without any restrictions. The last step here is to grab the keys we'll need to connect our Python project to Supabase. Go to Project Settings, API, and copy 2 things: the project URL and the anon public API key. That's it for the backend setup. Now we've got everything ready, and we can move on to the Python project. First, install the required Python packages. Use pip to install NiceGUI and the Supabase Python client. Make sure you're running Python 3.8 or newer. Next, import the modules you need. We use NiceGUI to create the user interface and handle user interactions. The standard string and random modules are used to generate the shortcodes for the URLs. Redirect response is included so the server can redirect visitors from a short link to the original URL. Finally, we use the Supabase client to connect to our database and insert or retrieve the URL records. After that, assign your Supabase credentials to variables. Take the project URL and the anon public API key you copied earlier from the Supabase dashboard and assign them to variables in your script. For a demo, you can set those values directly, but for any public repository or production use, please use environment variables instead. Create the Supabase client using those variables. This client is what your app will use to talk to the URLs table. Now, we need a function to generate shortcodes. This function creates a small string made of letters and numbers. We'll use these shortcodes in the URL so that each long URL gets a unique, shareable link. The default length is 6 characters, which is enough for a demo, but keep in mind that random codes can collide if you have a large number of links. In a real application, you should check for duplicates and retry or generate longer codes to avoid collisions. With the shortcode generator ready, we create a function to shorten URLs. When a user submits a long URL, this function generates a short code, stores the short code and the original long URL in the database, and returns a new short link that points to our server. This is the link that will display to the user so they can share it. For this demo, the link uses localhost, but when you deploy the app, you can change it to a real domain. It's also a good idea to validate the long URL to make sure it's in the correct format and prevent broken redirects. Next, we need a function to look up short codes. When someone visits a short link, this function checks the database for a matching short code. If it finds one, it returns a redirect response that sends the user to the original URL. If it doesn't find a match, it shows a friendly error message telling the visitor that the short link doesn't exist. For a production application, it's better to return a proper 404 status code for missing links. Now let's move on to the user interface part of the project. The main page of our app is simple and clean, designed to be easy for users to interact with. At the top, we display a big title that says URL Shortener and a short description underneath that tells users what the app does. Below the description, we have a card component that holds the input field and the results. The input field is where the user types or pastes their long URL. Right below the input field, there's a space to display the short URL after it's generated. This area automatically updates whenever the user clicks the shorten button. The shorten button is placed under the input and result area. When the user clicks it, the app reads the value from the input field, trims any extra white space, and then calls the function that generates the short link. Once the short link is created, it's displayed right below the button in the result area, so the user can copy it or share it immediately. Finally, we also have a dynamic redirect page. When someone visits a short URL, the app extracts the short code from the path, looks it up in the database, and if a matching long URL is found, the visitor is immediately redirected to that original website. If no matching shortcode exists, the page displays a friendly error message letting the visitor know that the link does not exist. This ensures that even if someone types a wrong or expired short link, they get clear feedback instead of a broken page. We've finished the entire application, so now let's run and test it. I'm starting the app Python file from the console. And for this demo, I've picked a long URL to use. When I paste it into the input field and click the shorten button, the app generates a short link for me. Let's copy that short URL and try it in a new tab. As you can see, it redirects us straight to the original website. That means the shorten and redirect functions are both working correctly. As a final check, let's take a look inside Supabase to confirm that the data is being stored. Open the SQL editor, run a simple select command on the URLs table, and you can see the rows that were created. Both the shortcode and the long URL are saved in the database along with the timestamp. And that's it. We've built a simple but functional URL shortener using Python, NiceGUI, and Supabase. You can now expand on this project, improve the design, or even deploy it online with a custom domain. If you found this walkthrough helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more tutorials, and let me know in the comments what you'd like to see next. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.